Interesting. Speaking of nepotism babies, Alec Baldwin killed somebody.
I don't know how that correlated.
Because I think his whole family is like all entertainment.
Yeah. Like the Wayne family, Wayne brothers.
Sure.
Is that nepotism?
In a way, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, Keenan showed up and then everyone followed.
Yeah. Yeah, Alec Baldwin, he's getting charged for, what is he getting charged for?
Manslaughter.
Manslaughter, yeah. Makes sense, I guess.
It's complicated.
Yeah, it's complicated.
So based on the initial facts that I saw, I didn't think he should be charged for anything because realistically it falls onto the armorer of the set that the bullet got in the gun. So first of all, what the thing I keep seeing people being confused on is what prop guns actually are. Because people just think like, oh, they're on set, so it's a prop gun. Well, it's like prop guns are literally just airsoft guns, first of all. And that's more of a recent thing. And of course, you'll see people that complain like, oh, why is this woman who is 85 pounds double wielding 2 fucking Desert Eagles at the same time shooting and there's like no recoil? That's not realistic at all. Well, that's because it's prop guns. So with what some directors will do or producers who are going for very realistic gunfights in their films, they will use real guns. And that's how it used to be done for a long time is they use real guns, but they use blanks. However, blanks are also dangerous.
Yeah, it sounds like a whole dangerous thing.
Well, because blanks, you don't have literally it's still a bull. I don't know how exactly how it works because I'm not a gun expert.
They just shoot blanks, so it's not a real bullet.
Well, there's a shell, but I don't think there's a tip on it maybe. And there's also not enough powder in it for it to matter. But what can happen is the shell can break and fly out and kill someone.
Yeah, there's still a possibility of.
So when you're shooting blanks, a lot of times they'll have like these ballistic screens. And that's what they were doing. So, so for example, like Bruce Lee's son got killed that way with the blanks. Mm-hmm. Something came out, a piece of it came out of the barrel and he got struck by it and got killed by it.
Yep.
So on this set specifically, there was a lot of shit going on. This also was around the time when IATSE, which is the union for film crews, or it's more than just film crews, but film crews fall within it. They were about to go on strike regarding the streaming services on how much work they have to do. And what happened from there apparently is the set was very toxic, especially from the producers, that everyone just left and went on strike. And the only people that were left there were non-union people, the director of photography, and then whatever actors were there. And so that left, of course, Alec Baldwin, the director, and the DP, who was the one who was unfortunately killed. Going into apparently what happened from there was with the scene, they wanted to have the Alec Baldwin point the gun at the camera. And of course, they used ballistic screens because they were using blanks. But of course, there was a live round in the gun, which then ended up striking and killing the director of photography. So a lot of people get confused. They're like, why is there a live bullet in the gun? Well, apparently what was happening is between shoots, a lot of crew would take the weapons that they had on set, because again, these are real weapons, and they would go shoot them off like on the side of the set. They would just like shoot at cams or whatever, shooting live rounds. The armorer's job is to also then go through all the guns to make sure there's no live rounds in the guns. So whenever Alec Baldwin was handed the gun, he assumes that he's getting one that doesn't have a live round in it because that's someone's job. And of course, he was told to shoot at the camera. He shot at the camera and killed someone.
Yep.
Specifically from there, another thing apparently that was going on was the armorer wasn't really even being paid to be the armorer. She was only paid for 4 days as the armorer and then was working as the assistant prop person. And then she was also being chewed out from the producers for focusing too much on being the armorer, ironically. And so yeah, she also was charged. It was Alec Baldwin who got charged. So realistically, from a legal perspective, from criminal law, she should be charged for negligence, even though I don't think it's fully her fault. I think more of it falls back on the producers.
Isn't Alec Baldwin producer?
He is he's a producer on the film, but there's like 5 production companies on this film.
Okay.
One of them, I can't remember the production companies, but there's rumors around one of the production companies that they're very known for being very cheap, but at the same time, they get a lot of money from people that are trying to basically clean money, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Laundering. This is alleged, of course. And apparently that production company was the ones who were handling majority of production. And apparently they were the ones that causing the issue, but this is all allegedly, of course.
Yeah.
And so
it's very hard to prove.
Yeah, it's hard to prove. But because also there was like no one on set at this point. Yeah. And so we're going back to Alec Baldwin being charged, the prosecutors said that he should not have pointed a gun at someone unless he's intending to kill someone, because it's the first rule of gun safety, which I don't think is quite fair because he was told to, and he assumed that there was no live round in it because that's someone's job. The issue I think that might get him convicted, though, is apparently he was told to go through a gun safety class and he refused before the shot. So that might be something that can get him.
There you go.
But past that, I think it's more on the armorer, because that's, of course, that's her job.
Yeah.
And the main thing still goes back to the people that were actually producing the film. But I don't know if they could be considered on a criminal side being liable.
Yeah.
But civilly, definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
And the other issue apparently going around, like on the civil side of things, is they're trying to figure out who's financially responsible for the film. Because again, there's 5 companies. They're all like, no, we're not responsible.
Yeah.
So that's a whole mess right now. But basically, it's a whole clusterfuck.
Yeah. Yeah, it does suck. But I don't know. I feel like someone had to get charged, unfortunately.
Yeah, I feel like because I think Alec Baldwin's kind of being treated as a fall man. Because all the producers, anyone who was a producer on the film was basically like, oh no, we weren't on set. We had nothing to do with this.
Yeah. And like he has some of the blame. Like,
well, my thought still is like, if your job is an actor, it's really not your job to know the difference between a gun that has a live round in it and a blank, because that's the armorer's job.
But if he took you think they taught it in the gun safety class?
I don't think they would really teach you that, though.
Have you held a gun before?
I have, but I've never shot blanks.
Yeah. I don't know if there's a difference of weight between the two.
But again, these are actors. Actors aren't really known for being gun experts.
Yeah, but at the same time,
that's why I'm saying the only thing that they might be able to get him to be considered guilty in front of a jury is because he refused to do a gun safety class.
Yeah, exactly. And at the same time, you're handling a actual gun. Like, you would want to have some type of knowledge with that in general.
Well, here's the thing. I'm sure he's been on sets that have used real guns with blanks before.
Yeah.
So he probably is just like, okay, this is what happens when I do this.
Yeah.
Pull a trigger, it makes a loud noise, it kicks back really hard, and then that's it.
Yeah. Man, it's just an unfortunate event.
Oh, it's a horrible situation. But I think he's kind of being treated as a fall guy. I mean, but at the same time, he should have taken that class.
Yeah, he should have.
And also, they should have the production team behind that should have done a better job of making sure the armor could actually do her job, actually was being paid for doing the job, and not having to do multiple duties at once, and treating the staff with respect.
Yeah, I heard that.
That's I think the biggest thing that happened was because the whole crew left, basically then all the responsibility was left on whoever was still there.
Yep.
So in my eyes, the people that should be punished are the main producers behind the film.
And I think Alec Baldwin was the main producer, right?
He was just a co-producer.
Oh, okay.
But I think that was more of just, he was putting his name to it, so he's getting production credit.
Yeah.
That's what happens, those indie films like that. If you're a big name actor, you're getting all types of credits and stuff just because you're involved.
Yeah.
Just because you're going to be an actor in it.
Yeah.
So